This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined in a safe place this time with Mr. Dev Sahni. How's things, mate? How you been?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. And I'm delighted to be joined by you, Lewis Hart. I mean, every interview that I watch currently at the moment, people are talking about you. People are hyping you up. People are talking about giving you nicknames like Harty. I'm hearing all sorts of stuff. So well done on your recent spike in profile.
I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. I like to give some fans my time. You know how it is, mate. You know,
Yeah.
got to give 1 minute. Got to give one boy from Kent another time. So it's only
Yes,
fair.
good man.
You know,
Good man. Well
we
done.
didn't get to catch up sort of last week. Sort of you're rushed off, mate. Sort of faking an illness because you knew I was about. You knew I wanted to chat to you. So you know, listen, mate, I'm too ill.
You're
So
gonna stick it on me. No, I just suddenly got mad ill, just like during MCing. And I just remember, like, during the Adeleye fight, just thinking, can you please hurry up and just knock him out, please? Because I really need to crack on, mate. I need to get home. So, yeah, I sort of walked back in slow motion to my car. And, yeah, I was in a bad way. But I'm here now. We're good to go.
Yeah, we're here now. We're here, good to go. So we'll talk a little bit about the Adeleye fight. 6th round on Adeley's belt sort of stopped opponent retired after the 6th. We'll talk about it. What did you sort of make of that fight overall as sort of the 6 rounds went on?
I think I thought his jab looked really good. I think within like the first 30 seconds, he was just like backing this guy up badly with the jab. So yeah, I think overall he was quite good. I think he's not over the moon with his performance. I think the opponent at times was quite awkward and negative as well. He was ducking down, making it quite tricky for Adeleye to get his shots off. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he didn't come out for the 7th round. He'd had enough. And David Adeleye rolls on. So it's another KO win for Big D.
Do you expect to see him be made mandatory for the British title next against Fabio Wardley?
I would have thought so, mate. I would have thought so. Like he should have been in the first place, right? And the whole thing turned into a mess because he wasn't. So look, as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned, he should be. And that should be a fight that we see.
You think it's a hard one with David, where it's like he might think about the board, he might think, you know, I'm not sort of, he said I'm not some sort of side piece, you know, just because you know, you picked Fraser the first time, you know. Do you think we could see that, or do you think, you know, he will actually take that British title shot against Fabio?
I don't know, because there is an element of that. There is an element of that. Like I ain't your kind of like your second choice kind of thing. I'm Big D. I'm David Adeleye. I was 11-0. Why didn't you pick me in the first place, guys? So there may be an element of that. I don't know. There's been sort of contrasting messages from him, but ultimately, I would imagine if that's presented to him as the best fight available, the best next step to take, then I'd imagine he'd take it. Like he ain't scared of Fabio Wardley, and he ain't going to be pulling out of nothing. That's what he keeps saying.
Okay. Well, we've obviously got Fraser Clarke fighting this weekend as well. Also at York Hall the week after David. Do you think it's a hard one with someone like Fraser, where they're going into this fight after sort of everything that's happened with all the stuff with the purse bids? Do you think it's hard for him to sort of going to go up and get out again, and potentially for another shot at Fabio Wardley if that would arise again, and even a potential fight with David Adeleye in the future?
I think he's dealing with it well. I think he's done exactly the right thing, which is sort of like, it's kind of like an F everyone kind of thing. He's blocking out the haters, so to speak. People are going to talk. People are always going to talk. But as I said at the time, today's news is tomorrow's chip paper. He may well knock Whack out and be one of very few that knocks out Marius Whack, even though it's this version of it. Suddenly the image changes. It's him standing over Marius Whack, victorious, you know, beating his chest and calling out all sorts of names. And people start forgetting what happened. So I think he's dealing with it perfectly fine. Best thing he can do, get his head down, train, fight, knock people out, ideally, and keep moving on. He's a good guy, Fraser Clarke. So wish him the best.
What do you make of this? It's almost like a trio, but you know, 4 people in a way. Where you look at this trio of sort of, don't want to be disrespectful to the outside contenders, but you look at when you look at the British contenders fighting for the British title, it's Fabio. You know, you've got David and you've got Fraser. Then there's also Dakers as well. What do you make of this contingency at the moment? I was chatting with a few guys yesterday and we were saying domestically, it's probably the best British sort of heavyweights it's been in a long time.
Yeah, it is exactly that. And like it's difficult. Like Fraser Clarke's got all of that amateur pedigree, and you'd think based on that he should be above these guys, and he should be fast tracked, with his age as well, fast tracked towards world honours. He may skip all of this British title stuff. He may just completely leave it alone. With he's about 5-6 years older than the other guys, but. It's a great emerging mix. We are the home of the heavyweights in this country. We've got the best heavyweight in the world in Tyson. You've got Joshua there as well. Whyte, Joe Joyce, Dillian Whyte, Daniel Dubois is about to challenge Alexander Usyk. Then there's all these guys underneath it. It's a great time to be a fan of heavyweight boxing. We just want to see them fight each other, really.
Yeah. Are you going to be making the trip to Poland for Usyk Dubois?
I think so. I'll be making my case. I'll be making my case for it. I would hope so. It would be, Daniel could shock the world out there, right? And in a situation like that, you got to make sure he makes the most of it. And he's got cameras in front of him. Are you going to
go? I'm not actually sure. Actually, I haven't. The thing is, mate, I'm in Canada the week before for Beterbiev Smith, so back-to-back flights. I'm not sure. This is to be honest, this is if my managers are seeing this, send me there because I'd love to be there. I went Poland with Boxer before, so I definitely want to go there again. But yeah, I don't know. It'd definitely be a good one, especially in a stadium fight. I'm sure there'll be a lot of the atmosphere there will be incredible.
Yeah, I don't think I've because that will be a scenario where literally everyone in that stadium, apart from a small collection of people, will be against Daniel Dubois. Yeah. Daniel Dubois is fully going into the lion's den. He is a significant underdog in the fight. He is away from home. Everyone there will be backing Alexander Usyk. I kind of love it. So I'd love to be a part of that and be sort of, on the ring walk with Daniel and seeing it all happen and taking in the boos.
How do you think Daniel will deal with all that after everything you've just mentioned there, everyone being against him, and obviously he's now with Don Charles now? How do you deal with that? How do you think he'll deal with that situation for the biggest fight of his career so far? It's and probably the toughest that he's probably ever going to have, maybe.
Yeah, look, it won't get much tougher than this, really. It's a case. I don't think he'll overthink it. I don't think he's an overthinker. I don't think he'll put a lot of thought into what's going on. He's kind of quite robotic, Daniel Dubois, as a person and almost as a fighter as well. Yeah. You know what you're going to get with him. It's doof, doof. He'll try and get you. And if he gets you, he's going to hurt you, right? So I don't think he's going to overthink this at all. I don't think the pressure will affect him. There's almost, you say all of that about he's going to get booed and all of that sort of stuff. It almost takes all the pressure off him. No one's got, people in there aren't expecting him to win, right? The bookies aren't expecting him to win. Most of boxing isn't expecting him to win. What's the pressure on Daniel Dubois? He is one punch away from changing his entire life and the entire boxing world as we know it. And he has got the power to do so.
100%. Well, we'll stick on topics of the heavyweight division. A lot of talk. Not only will we see Usyk versus Dubois in August, we could potentially be seeing AJ versus Whyte in August. Initially, the rematch. This could be seen as a potential sort of not a tune-up, but one fight for Joshua. Where then we look at a Wilder fight in Saudi Arabia at the end of December. What do you think about this fight for AJ with that potential Wilder fight looming as well?
I just think it isn't going to happen. to be honest, I just think it's going to happen, mate. I mean, look, within the last, I've always said I think that Whyte is too big of a risk if there's a Wilder fight, which sounds like there's going to be. And now, literally within the last hour, Whyte's come out, done an interview with Sky Sports saying they're not serious about the offers they're making me, or there's been no communication. Just not good noises to make about a fight that's 8 weeks away. So I don't think it will be him, to be honest. Maybe it will be no one. The way I see this right now is that the reason that Anthony Joshua wasn't going to fight Tyson Fury is we were told because he's going to fight Whyte and then he's going to fight Wilder. He's got his plan, right? He's not fighting Whyte. There's no fight scheduled with Whyte right now. That's fact, right? There's no fight scheduled with Wilder. That's fact, right? And there's no offer from the Saudis. Amar Abdullah's come out and said that there's no offer at the moment.
Yeah.
These are two facts, right? So Tyson Fury hasn't got a fight scheduled. Anthony Joshua hasn't got a fight scheduled. Why aren't we seeing that fight again? I don't know.
Yeah. I see how you put it in that sense. I mean, it's a tough one because I think Do you think it could be from a fact of there has been so much talk about this Wilder fight? Do you think it might be where Matchroom potentially wouldn't want to take a risk with someone like Dillian Whyte, like you said there? Do you just feel like this is such a big risk where when you've got a Wilder fight there, there's no point fighting someone as dangerous as Dillian Whyte?
But that's what they were talking about doing, fighting Dillian Whyte. That's the whole thing. Well, we'll fight Whyte and then we'll fight Wilder. I've always said they're not going to do both. It's too big a risk, and they've intimated as such as well that that whether or not the Wilder fight comes will determine who the opponent is in August. So noises like that have been made, but yeah, even with Wilder now as well, there are noises that he's going to fight Andy Ruiz next.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So we've been told for years that Andy Ruiz would knock out Deontay Wilder, right? That's all like Eddie's been saying. He'll knock him out, we'll knock him clean out and all that. So are we placing all of our chips into this Deontay Wilder fight in December when Deontay Wilder could be fighting Andy Ruiz first, a guy that you say is going to chin him? It's crazy right now, all of this stuff. So I don't know.
I think, when it comes to an AJ Fury fight, it's what we all talk about. Do you think like now where you see, do you think it can like realistically when we talk about it, do you think it can be made, or do you think that all the pressures that go into it, all the talk about it, that a big thing is all the egos that go into it make this sort of just almost impossible to make? Or do you think, where we see Hearn and George Warren actually having decent conversations where we might actually get some progress here?
Yeah, look, I think they've just got to get on with it, to be honest, mate. I think we're at risk of this fight just completely passing us by and everyone just pointing fingers at each other as to why it hasn't happened. And I think Anthony Joshua would like to fight Tyson Fury. And I know Tyson Fury would like to fight Anthony Joshua. And right now, neither of these guys have fights scheduled. As much as there's talk of, there's going to be an offer, we're going to do this on this day and all that, like, stuff isn't actually coming to fruition. Just get on with it. Tyson's there ready to fight. Like I want to see it. Wouldn't you like to see that fight? It's just, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think I definitely see it. I just think when I look at it from a fan's point of view, I think I just could never. I lose hope. Do you know what I mean? I lose hope in a way where I've seen this so many times before. Like where that makes me lose hope. Yeah. That's it.
The best thing would be if they just cracked on with it behind closed doors and hit us all with a fight announcement. Wouldn't that be dreamy? Because that's when you know a fight is real. When there's proper posters going out from all the promoters, when you know there's going to be a press conference on the Monday and all the media are getting little tip-offs and there's going to be an invite and all that, that's when you know all this other stuff is just noise, right? But that would be ideal. As far as I'm concerned, neither of these guys have fights scheduled. Just get on with it.
If only boxing worked like that, though.
I don't know why it doesn't, though. I mean, look, this whole thing, we're going to fight Whyte, we're going to fight Wilder, but you might not fight either. Yeah.
So when you say that, and you say this, because I think when I look at it from a point of view in 2023, so we look at this from 2023 of boxing in the UK, you look at how we're doing it in the UK, and then you look at it in America where we're seeing Spence Crawford, Tank Garcia. What do you feel like the problem is in 2023 where we can't get people working with each other? Do you feel like it's an ego issue that we've got with people in the UK? Would you say?
No, I think people are working with each other. I think they are.
But in a big stage, like why haven't we seen Buatsi Yard and why haven't we seen AJ Fury? Do you know what I mean? Do you think? I think for me, I feel like the biggest problem with that is just egos. I think that's the thing that and people not really.
I think it's timing. A lot of this stuff is timing. Like Yard and Buatsi, now might be the time, to be honest. Yeah. And obviously Frank Alder he offered Buatsi the fight, and it felt like a good time. But
that's
Buatsi's gone his way, and and there was talk of when Buatsi was with Matchroom, George and Eddie were talking about doing that fight. So it could have happened. These guys are talking. I've no like, I think those days are gone now. Those days of like a cold war between sort of, all the promoters, we're not working with you, etc. I feel like either it's thawed out completely or it's we're getting to a good place with it, and it's good. It's good that these guys are talking to each other. I think we're in a good place with it.
Yeah, because I think Eddie spoke about sort of like the new guard taking over when you've got himself, you've got Ben, and then you've got George about this sort of new school of just being about the business, you know, being what's best for the brand, whilst, you know, whilst Creamsbury want to be the best, whilst Boxer want to be the best, whilst, you know, Match want to be the best. It's more tailored to the fans, would you say, where we all just want to see the best fight the best, no matter what platform it is, no matter what promotion it's under?
Yeah, look, fights will ultimately get made when it suits everyone, right? When the deal's right for everyone. And if, like, for example, you saw Zach Parker against John Ryder, that is a pure Queensbury and Matchroom fight that happened outside of going to purse bids. That was a case of a deal being done that suited everyone. Wilder got paid nicely. Parker got paid nicely, got the home advantage as well on a Queensbury show, and it worked for everyone. And they get on with it. I think when the business suits, you crack on.
Definitely, 100%. Well, we'll move on slightly to a big fight at the end of July. The Battle of Telford, it's here. We saw someone right in the middle of it. Jason Cunningham versus Liam Davies. You were getting right stuck in. There's a lot of needle there between these two. And one thing you didn't even see it because you were too busy emceeing. You would have seen it online on sort of on social media. Yeah. I was in the media room, right? These guys are going. Liam Davies just winding up Jason Cunningham for 20 minutes. I'm going to be in Telford for that. You're going to be it. Sure, we can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's sort of it's turned into one of the biggest rivalries this year in between two British boxers.
You caused it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it thinking, where on earth has this come from? Jason Cunningham is one of the nicest men that you will meet in boxing. To see him involved in like beef up close with Liam Davies, calling him all sorts of stuff, it's great. And it's Liam Davies. He loves it. I was thinking about this because we had Andrew Kane against Yonut Baluta, right? And I hosted the presser. I thought, oh, this is going to be tasty. You know, Kane's a little menace. He's gonna stick it right in. Baluta's a madman. But it didn't. It was very tame. And I thought, what's the difference between this and the Liam Davies Baluta presser? It's Liam Davies. He starts banging down the table. He gets really like aggy and hyped up. So I'm looking forward to the fight. I'm looking forward to fight week. I would imagine when Spence and Crawford understand that they've gone the same night as this fight, they'll probably have to move because they're not going to get any coverage. So it's going to be tricky for them guys.
100%. Well, Dev, I did want to say, I appreciate you taking the time to chat to me. I know it's sort of a little bit, it's going to be a little bit quiet, so I did want to get my little interview in with you. So I appreciate you taking the time, mate. I appreciate it.
No worries at all, mate. Enjoy. Where are you?
I'm at Boxer. I'm at Mama Shelter in Bethnal Green, off to Boxer tomorrow. Then in 12 hours, I go from York Hall to then Zante Strip in 12 hours, mate. So I can't ask for much better than that.
Okay, well, don't be silly. Wrap your...
Yeah,
right,
absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
All right.
Dev, thanks for your time, mate.
You
appreciate it, mate.